Hello and welcome to WHU Radio with me, your host John Phillips, also known as JP. In today's episode, we are going to be having the full-time thoughts conversation in relation to Burnley 2, West Ham 2, the first game of the campaign of the Championship in the 26-27 season. So let's crack on with it. Okay, so let's talk about that first half. As always, let's start off by talking about the starting 11. Now, Sky Sports said it started off in a 4-2-3-1, and it looked like it kind of did, but reverted to a 4-4-2 very fucking quickly. So Hermansen still in goal, Walker Peters as the right back, Mavropanos and Kilman in the defensive positions with Scholes at the left back, Bowen, Orford, Kante, and Solomon. So Solomon make his debut. We'll talk about that in a second. So flat middle four with Pablo and Castellanos, aka Tati, up front. Good call. Nice idea to bring Solomon in. I wasn't 100% sure or confident that he would start. And of course, guys, as just before we get into the talk about the game itself, since I spoke to you yesterday, it has been confirmed that Engels has signed, as I mentioned, £22 million, breaking the Championship player transfer record. It's not the only record we've been breaking today, apparently. But yeah, so very happy with him. But because he was confirmed so late, he won't be playing with us until the first London derby of the season when we play Charlton at home on Saturday. So let's get back to talking about the first half of the game. Now, we concede a goal chance 46 seconds into the game after a Bowen error, basically at the other end of the pitch. Very quick, swift counter-attack from Burnley, but nothing doing on that. And then literally 2 minutes, 20 odd seconds on the clock again. Defensive midfield errors, etc., and we're faced with Larson running down their left hand side, our right hand side, causing us problems. He did that all of the first half, to be honest with you. And then again, 3 minutes in, three goal attempts broken down. 4 minutes in, another goal attempt broken down. It's excellent defending from Kyle Walker Peters to create the first corner of the game. But as conceding 4 attempts in 4 minutes, it's absolutely unacceptable. And and then after that, slowly but surely, we built a bit more of momentum. 7-8 minutes into the game, we started to dominate. We started to look like the West Ham that started the game. Quite frankly, as I say, I thought we could have built that tempo and momentum very, very easily, but we didn't. We just absolutely capitulated for the first 6-7 minutes of that game, and then slowly but surely built into it. And then 8 minutes in, Pablo, nice little interplay, little spin around from Tati to give the ball to Pablo, which he goes for. I don't know what he was trying to do, but he got a deflection off a Burnley player and it goes out for a corner. And then, of course, as it always is with our beloved West Ham, Jared Bowen puts a corner in from the right-hand side. From our point of view, down the right-hand side, Kilman headers it in. Looks like Adam Ramsey's trying to mark him, but doesn't really do that much with it. And then Kilman headers the ball under Weiss's legs, and it's 1-0. 8 and a bit. Was it 7 minutes? 9 minutes, 46, 56, whatever it was on the clock. And that was it. And apparently we were according to the Sky Sports commentators who over-exaggerate everything as usual, they were saying that it's the first header scored since the start of the season. The season's only 2.5 fucking days in. Wind your necks in, guys. But it's nice to know we're the first team to score a header in the start since the opening weekend, which is in the opening weekend, I should say, which is which is a lot more accurate. Very impressed with what Solomon was doing in that first half. I questioned the transfer, as you guys would have seen in the video that I shot when he was doing his medical, and also for any Patreons listening, that there was I had when I did the player analysis video, there's a lot of contentious stuff in there as well. I'm still not sure he's 100% what we need for the whole season, but in terms of his debut, as I say, we're up to the first half point of this part of the podcast and can't do much wrong. Almost made it 2-0 towards the end of the first half, but Yeah, and then as I say, so then there goes a little bit of toing and froing between two sides, as the two sides as it always is. Mavropanos had a good chance to make it 2-0 in the 16th odd minute, 16th, and then whatever seconds it was, but it goes over goes over the bar quite heavily. 17 odd minutes, poor clearance from Hermansen, but we get lucky. That it goes out for a goal kick. Really, really bad decision making from that point of view. Last thing, as I said, is causing us so many problems down our right hand side. That has to be fixed for the Charlton game on Saturday, and you'll understand why. I'll say that when the preview goes up on YouTube. You'll understand the reasons behind that. One of the great things about this first half, which I'll come to in a minute, no hydration break, because it's obviously being up in Burnley. No disrespect to the Lancashires guys up there, but it's a lot cooler than it is down here. So, we're straight in watching proper football for a change from that point of view. Where are we? 31 minutes and few odd seconds. Kante does a stupid mistake. He's young, but he should not have done that foul to get himself booked. Absolutely stupid for doing it. I hope that he wins. He wins some a bit intelligence from it, and people have a go at him saying, "Guys, don't do that. Seriously, you want a booking now? Don't do anything to jeopardize the rest of the game." 33 and a half minutes in, Fleming also nearly equalises. Kilman absolutely ball watching. That's one of the issues I've had with Kilman over the last few years. Don't get me wrong, for the first half performance, it was pretty decent from him, very involved in everything. But one thing I hate seeing is defenders just watching the ball. Absolutely ridiculous. Really, I really, really hate that. Now, on the 30th of minute, you had Bowen getting sandwiched by two Burnley players, Carl Walker, whoever it was. Don't care at the minute. um, but yeah, it's not a penalty for me because at the end of the day, all three players are going for the ball. It's not intentional from what I can see, but we've got no VAR fortunately, so it is what it is. It would have been quite bad from a Burnley perspective to concede that as a penalty, but at the same point, guys, it'd be quite weak if it was awarded as such. So it's a 50-50 really, as far as I'm concerned. Kyle Walker-Peters gives the ball away on the 36th odd minute, causing a great counter attack from Hannibal, which is really one of Burnley's real threats from in the first half. But he manages to track back into the box and clears the danger because Hannibal takes a little bit too long to try and do anything with it. So Carl Walker-Peters' reputation is saved. As far as I'm concerned, 38 minutes, Skulls wins a defensive battle for the ball, but with more experience, I genuinely think he'll win that a lot earlier than he actually did. But he was looking very confident in there. 40 minutes in and nearly 2-0, but broken down. But great play from Solomon in general. 42 minutes in, and we have another corner, left hand side this time. Nothing really doing all that much to complain about. Don't care what Sky says. And 43 minutes on the clock. Literally on the clock, 43 and like 20 seconds, whatever it was. Solomon way off target under heavy defensive pressure from Burnley. So overall, a lot of good things to look at there. One of the reasons it seems that Alvarez wasn't on there, I don't care what the commentators did notice it a little bit, saying, is it not to be pessimistic, but it's a transfer window knock that Alvarez has. 100% spot on. Apparently, the club is in conversation with him to see what he wants to do this season. Likewise, for the reason why Diouf is on the bench. Because obviously, there's a very, very good chance that the bid from Brentford has turned his head. Don't get me wrong, Skulls absolutely deserves to be in the starting 11 for this game. From his performance against Portsmouth, and likewise Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Actually, I don't think he's in the. Let me just double check the sub bench, but I don't think he's on the sub bench either, is he? So let's just double check. Where are we? Is he on the sub bench? No, he's not. Nothing whatsoever. So obviously he's. So there's that. But as I say, guys, for a first half perspective, for the first game of the season, I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm not going to lie. I think that's pretty decent going. So let's now talk about the second half. Okay, so let's talk about that second half. Straight away at the halftime break, James Ward-Prowse comes on for Pablo. So, bit of a maybe tactical change, maybe a niggle, who knows? There were actually worse players out there, but It is what it is. And straight away, within a few seconds of the kickoff, straight under pressure from Burnley, and we managed to get a throw in as a result of it. And yeah, good to see that the referee was all over it to stop the time wasting from throws. But unfortunately, guys, it was all Burnley for most of that second half. Fleming was an absolutely real handful, as we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. But at the same point, 70 minutes on the clock, Bowen goes for goal just as after the little bit of a clearance. But it looks like it comes off, ricochets off the back of Kilman, who's flat on the floor in relation to a bit of play beforehand. And then 71 minutes, Solomon scores on his debut. What a time to announce yourself. Really, really was impressed by him throughout his whole performance. I thought he absolutely smashed it. And again, we'll talk about him in a little bit more as well, for that matter. But as I say, in between, for the next 10, 11 minutes, it was all Burnley. We were hardly capable of doing much, but we were able to hold our own. And then, unfortunately, on the 82nd minute, and I go back to what I said about the first half, in relation to Ollie Scholes and his what's the word? His naivety. That's the word I'm thinking of. Naivety. Because he makes a mistimed challenge, and they get a penalty, and of course the ball goes to. And I will 100% say this: Fleming was Burnley's man of the match. Absolutely incredible. Was given the penalty because he was 7-7 before that penalty, and now he's 8-8. Beautifully taken penalty. The proper centre forward penalty, as far as I'm concerned, and also for that matter. But yes, there's a bit of afters with Hermansen and Fleming when both of them are trying to get the ball for different purposes, and then Scholes substitute for Diouf a few minutes after that, regardless of Solomon's signalling to the bench literally seconds beforehand that he needed to come off. And as a result of it, on the 88 minute and whatever seconds, Veltman comes on for Solomon. And there we are. We're thinking, 2-1, game going as expected, but we're holding on for the 3 points, overly defensive. And again, guys, I hate to say it, but it was the tactical substitutions by Nuno. Now, don't get me wrong. Nuno's working with a limited squad here, and I'm not saying it. I've never said anything other than that. But at the same point, guys, really, Veltman, really, trying to get 5 at the back, pushing keeping 4 at the back, but basically pushing Kyle Walker-Peters up into Solomon's position. I don't know why he couldn't have pushed Ward-Prowse up there as a result or something. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, and then literally a few seconds just after that, Lorient has a very, very good chance, as does Mahmoudi as well, for that matter. The pressure was building from Burnley, and then 1 minute into the added 5 minutes, Fleming makes it 2-2 with a defensive error, to say the least, from the majority of those West Ham players out there, and it's 2-2. Now at 2-0, on goal difference with Millwall, was looking good from that point of view. 2-1, floating down to, was it 5th or 6th, I think it was, and now being just on 1 point low down the table. So the good thing is, obviously, it's not a loss. Okay, we were off the mark, etc., etc. It's been, as it always is with the first game of the season, there's always a lot of draws, and there's always a lot of question marks, especially in relation to how we were playing. Like I said, we can't be playing that way against Charlton, and we'll find out. And you'll find out why when the preview goes up for that in a few days. But at the same point, guys, as I say, there's a lot of positives out of that. I thought Lewis Orford was brilliant in the midfield, especially in that first half. Not so much in the second, but you can't point your finger at him specifically because there was loads of errors made by loads of other players. So you can't blame Orford for what's going on with there. But as I say, it was a tough game. You can see why Burnley got relegated, because if they took their chances, they're winning this 4 or 5-0. Honestly, 4-5-2. They really could have done. Likewise with us, we could have taken our chances better as well. So I do think from that point of view, a point is reasonable. Wouldn't say it was deserved in any shape or form, because if you're looking at the balance of play, Burnley should have won that. They absolutely should have won that, but they didn't, and neither did we. So we're going into the Charlton game in 6 days' time, and we have to have a lot of talking points and a lot of training sessions to bring everybody up to speed as quickly as possible. As I say, there's a very good chance that especially out of that performance, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Engels is actually in the starting 11 to make his debut, just try and shore up that midfield. Will he be coming in for Orford? That's the question. I think Orford deserves a little bit more of a run out, especially against a team like Charlton. But at the same point, guys, thank you very, very much for listening. I hope you try and enjoy the rest of your weekend, or the rest of your Sunday, I should say. And yeah, guys, by the way, go and check out the merch that I've put up for the store that's links in the description below. I've actually taken off a couple of old lines, revamped one of them. There's a really nice Bowen t-shirt in there. There's a very nice Bubbles, West Ham Bubbles t-shirt in there as well. So links in the description below. Use the code OLAS until deadline day for 10% off. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, or indeed, if you're listening to this on Monday morning, I hope you enjoy your journey into work, and the work's not too bad for you on a Monday. Either way, guys, look after yourselves, take care, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best now.